And we are live, the Underdog Jets podcast with Wayne Chrebet, and we think we're live. Someone grab a comment if you see us. Let me double check. Yeah, we're live. Wayne, number 80, Olu Fashanu. What were your first reactions and how are you feeling about the pick?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, we knew who was available. With Latham going, that we had a chance to get him or the kid from Oregon State, and it's the right move. It's not the sexy pick. Everybody wanted Bowers, and we can go over the pros and cons of each one. But yeah, I liked it. Like you said, their fear of what happened last year happened again with no backups. Certainly, was reason to go after a pick like this.
Yeah, I mean, it boiled down to Bowers and Fashanu, really.
Yeah.
Latham went to Tennessee. And it made a lot of sense in the world because Bill Callahan, the O-line coach, is with Tennessee, and he was with Rex for the ground and pound teams. He loves his power running schemes, and Latham fits them perfectly. Jim Harbaugh going Joe Alt at 5 makes all the sense in the world. With Greg Roman there, another inside-out team who likes to run the ball.
Right.
So it made sense. And kudos to Joe Douglas for fooling everybody pretty much. I mean, the consensus was Bowers, and he fooled me. I really thought it was going to be Bowers.
You know what? He's stuck with it. He's in the trenches kind of guy. But listen, Bowers is special. We'll see. But, and people are like, why would you get a backup tackle? I mean, he's going to learn. Tyrone Smith is like his hero. So he gets to learn behind him. But Tyrone Smith, those guys in their mid-30s, they don't practice every practice. They get nicked and miss a week or two. It's not going to be a massive drop-off, but you got to have depth. You almost have to have 2 starting teams for an offensive line.
Yes.
Yeah, this kid hasn't given up a sack in 2 years and 1 quarterback hit. I mean, this is the kind of guy you want to build your line around.
Yeah, I didn't have time to clip some videos, so we'll just shout out to Joe Blewett for posting these on YouTube. There's Fashanu. He's the traditional left tackle. I mean, let's be honest. He's the traditional blindside, longer, not too heavy, really athletic, good-looking feet type anchor on the left side. And I'm surprised. There was a lot of negativity I saw when the pick went down. And I think some of it brews from Douglas missing on Becton, AVT getting injured, missing on Zach Wilson. But, Jets fans, they're frustrated because we haven't made the playoffs in over a decade. So I get that. But I'm surprised about the negativity. And I think it stems from him being a backup. They drafted a backup at number 11, but he's not a backup. He's going to play games this year. That's one. And number 2, O-line, it's not like when you played, Wayne, where they could just plug those guys in. It takes time for them to transition based on the way football's played these days, right?
It's easier to plug in a tight end to plug in a big O tackle that might play for 10 years.
I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd say that, right?
You're worried about him starting, the first half of the season when he might play the next 9.5 seasons. But it's not sexy. Like, is anybody going out and buying an Olu jersey tonight? No. But if we got a Dunze or Neighbors, they'll be sold out.
Right.
Fans want, excitement. They want touchdowns, and I understand that. But even some of the comments were like, oh, I hate this pick, this and that. And then it says, is he good? Question mark. They don't even know. They don't even know if the guy's good or not. They just know he's not the guy they wanted. So they're bashing it, not even knowing what this kid's all about, Olu. So it's, people who know football understand it when you think about it. But yeah, I would like to see the guys that make the big plays. But this is, we got a bunch of rounds left to get another playmaker.
Agreed. And I wasn't as high on a Dunze as other people, but I really was hoping he lasted to 10 to see what the Jets would do. But we didn't get that. And hey, Wayne, the trading down just one spot, scaring Minnesota into trading, flipping those picks. They get an extra 4th and an extra 5th while giving up just a 6th. That's a home run trade.
Yeah. Well, they said maybe we could have got more, but that quickly, I mean, you drop a 6 for a 4th. I mean, yeah, it's one slot back. You don't know if you could have held them hostage and got more, but I don't think people realize, oh, they moved back one. Like, what that means to people who wanted to come up and get a quarterback. So, yeah, it's interesting that kind of went by the wayside,
I
what
know.
he did getting that extra pick.
Yeah, and people who said they could have got more are looking at the traditional Jimmy Johnson point system, but again, one pick, a flip flop where Minnesota could have easily called their bluff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the points don't match up. It's all gravy at that point.
Yeah. And we have a chance to move even more having that extra pick. Look some of the comments real fast.
And
Always.
also, while you're doing so, Fashanu picking up a stunt on the screen here on the video here.
Yeah. Yeah. So Flight Jets talk, Robin Wayne, best dude. Thank you. Michael Peeper Jr. Let's go Jets. Yeah. Sneakers to boots. What a great pick. Build the trenches. We'd be SOL next year with no tackles. Yeah. If we didn't get this guy and something happens, we're going to be in the same exact spot as this past year.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have a weapon to throw to if you can't protect the quarterback.
I view it that Douglas and Salah are like traumatized puppies based on what's happened the last 3 years. I mean, how could you not be? It's been insane what they've dealt with. And I know every team has injuries, but it's been insane. And this is now the fourth, first or second round O-lineman that Douglas has drafted in 5 drafts. Not even 5 drafts. He's still got, second round. He doesn't have a second rounder. So in 5 drafts,
yeah,
only one first or second rounder was picked between 2007 and 2019. Vlad Dukas, second rounder in 2010. That's insanity that they didn't draft an O-line in the first or second round for 13 straight drafts before Douglas. Did I lose you? Yeah, we might have lost Wayne for a second. Let me stop sharing real quick. We gotta get a screen capture this for Wayne when he hops back on. Hold on, let me do that real quick. And everyone in the comments, get a good dig in if you can.
All right, you froze for a second.
You did too. Hey, folks watching, who froze? Was it me or Wayne? Because I captured a screenshot on my end.
So receiver wise, what do I think about McConkey? I like him. I talked about him before. I like him. He's a playmaker. I like when guys can take something small and make it big, like a high percentage throw, and take it for much more than a first down, if not a touchdown. So I like him a lot. They say it was me.
And I got a screenshot too for you. I'm going to share later.
Yeah. So here's one. Johnny Jimenez. Thoughts on the Debo rumor? 4th and 5th round pick for Debo. Thank you, Nick. Is this? I mean, Ayuk and him doesn't seem like they're going to keep both of them because they drafted Pearsall. So
who would you rather have?
Is it possible?
Who would you rather have? First of all, I mean, Ayuk's younger. He's more the traditional receiver. Debo's a beast, but he's injured a lot and he's getting up there in age. So that's a tough one if you're going to pick between the two of them.
Oh man, Debo is so explosive, and
I love Debo's game.
He's a gimmick guy too with jet sweeps, and he actually could. I think he get like 10 rushing touchdown, 10 receiving. He can do stuff that not a lot of people could do.
That was your dog?
No, my wife. And Ayuk.
Don't tell your wife I just confused her with the dog, please.
And Robbie asked if you were the dog. So now Ayuk, is he a 1-year wonder? Is it 2-year wonder, or what? Would you be more fearful of Debo on the opposite side or next to Garrett, or Ayuk?
I think Debo, but the problem is I'm struggling to figure out who would cost more because I think Debo is still the better player, but he's older and he's injured more. So Ayuk might cost slightly more.
Yeah.
So with Rodgers, I might rather go Debo, to be honest, and take my chances. But Ayuk's young.
Either one depends what you have to give. Man, is it better to give picks and something for one of them two, or hope one of these guys and receivers come out of the later rounds all the time and have success. I was looking at the best available, and then the next receivers to go. There's still some big names out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Adonai Mitchell and McConkey and Keon Coleman, Polk, the other kid from Washington. They might be gone, but you get the Troy Franklin kid from Oregon. What about Jerry Rice's son?
Yeah,
What about
where is
that?
he? Where is he slotted to go right now? I don't even know, to be
He
honest.
is 14th ranked, 81st overall rank. Could be a thing.
He's right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's right there.
yeah. And like you said, we can move around a little bit now.
Mhm. Yeah, with that extra pick, the 2 extra picks, I mean, especially the 4th is really nice. And I brought up the tracker here. Buffalo, have they made their pick yet? I don't think so. Pick is in, so we'll announce it when we get it.
Yeah.
Pats are next. What'd you think about the Pats going quarterback at 3 with Drake May?
I mean, he was, if not, he's 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
With the kid from USC, but people moving around for moving up from McCarthy. This whole Penix Kirk Cousin thing, this is weird because some people are like going to bat in the media saying they understand this now, but you give Kirk Cousins 150 million, 100 guaranteed, coming off a Achilles, and then you draft a quarterback with your 8th pick when you need playmakers, and he's 24, 25, so he's old to begin with, and they're saying, oh, he can sit for 3 or 4 years. Like, man, this is
It's only a 5-year deal. He's only got a 4-year contract with a team option.
Yeah. So that's weird, but May has a chance, but I like what the Giants did. They got Neighbors and
you can't
some
hate Neighbors.
But the whole Penix thing. I wish he would have went somewhere where he could have played because he's a special talent.
And here's the best available receivers. As you can see, Ladd is number 2. Adonai is still out there. I'm still waiting for the Bills pick. Keon Coleman. So scratch off one of the receivers.
What are they thinking?
Where the heck
Bills move out of the first round, and the Chiefs take the fastest kid ever at the combine when they just got rid of their receivers.
Yep, Chiefs add another blazing receiver.
Listen, I'm not worried about them as much as I'm worried about the Dolphins in the AFC East. I think they kind of missed their window. And they just don't have Josh Allen can't do it on his own. Could be like a knee-jerk reaction to them getting rid of everybody, but I'm not concerned as much about them.
Agreed. And their defense is not as good as it once was. At one point, a few years ago, they had the best coverage in the league with the 2 safeties and Tre'Davious White. And I think the Jets easily have passed them. I don't know who else has passed them, but other teams have too. They're just not the same. They're just not at the same level. It's not even close.
Yeah. So what pick? We don't have a pick in the second round, right?
Correct. I mean, and there is talk. I think it was the Athletics, Zach Rosenblatt. I think Rosenblatt dropped something. Rifka, if you're watching, you can put the details in the comments. That there's a report that the Jets and Douglas are interested. They're trying to pull something off that doesn't deal with a rookie per se. So it's in the Ayuk Debo type class.
Okay.
I don't know how true it is, but there's some rumors out there.
It's all posturing. Now, what if not one of them two? What is another veteran that we could potentially make a move on, using our draft picks instead of going after a younger guy? Who else is left?
I think Tyler Boyd is the top list. Let's bring it up real quick. And Boyd's a slot guy, but he could play pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, Mike said Cortland Sutton. That would be nice. Yeah, he's a good 50-50 guy. We tried to get him before Mike Williams, right?
Yeah, but there was rumors about Sutton and Judy, which are still there right now. I mean, basically for Sutton, and you'd have to pay the piper on that one. That's the problem. So what are they willing to part ways with. Now, it makes a lot more sense waiting until after the draft to see if Denver
Yeah.
would take something for next year. Maybe that's the play if they don't come away with what they want receiver-wise in the 3rd and 4th round.
But
But again, there are so many freaking receivers that are rookies. There's going to be someone who falls to them. I mean, I don't think there's any question.
we didn't talk about the most important thing.
What's that?
Zach Wilson will be throwing to Cortland Sutherland this year.
Oh, baby. Or Bo Nix,
Yeah.
the rookie, incoming rookie.
How'd you like to have to make that choice between them two?
Sean Payton, he is going. I mean, talk about confidence. That's confidence in his QB guru mind. I'll tell you that.
Well, look at this. I mean, look at in that same conference. You know, you got Bowers and Devontae and all these guys. And who's your quarterback? Why didn't they try to get Penix or one of these guys? Aiden O'Connell. That's their.
Aiden O'Connell. Yep. And they drafted Brock Bowers a year after they drafted Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. So they have 2 young tight ends, and they're drastically different tight ends. Mayer's more balanced and complete and can block, whereas Bowers is the receiver. But still, that's rough.
Yeah. So So do you have like a depth? Who would be the starting right now with the line, real quick?
So it would be. I'll bring it up, but it would be Tyron Smith at left tackle. Simpson at left guard, Tippmann at center, AVT at right guard, and Morgan Moses at right tackle.
Okay.
And then you have
our backups.
Then you have Fashanu. We're bringing up our lads, which is a great depth chart site for those interested. They do the best in terms of updating.
That's pretty good.
OT3 is Fashanu, OT4 is Carter Warren, and then Capital scored, which kind of ticked me off, and then the Rangers just tied it up. Schweitzer they're a little weak on the inside. Schweitzer is the first backup IOL guard center, and they don't really have much else. I mean, Connor McGovern's still out there. They could bring him back. Max Mitchell can make the team, but he's really got to be the last guy. He's got to be the 10th or 9th guy. You want one more interior guy, and they're pretty much set.
Think about this. We're going to have 4 new starters, essentially, this year. You got Smith, you got Simpson, you got Moses, you got the Oli. But Vera Tucker is back. It's almost like picking him up in free agency or drafting him. We didn't have him last year. So people aren't realizing that he's essentially an addition to the line. We had him already, but he just wasn't there. Wayne is the reason I chose to be a Jet fan 30 plus years ago. You see me, I posted my contract 29 years ago.
You were rich back then. Holy jeez.
And that was for 2 years. So it was actually $750.
What was your first purchase with that Elon Musk-esque contract?
Like nickel beers and 10-cent wings. Born and raised in Clifton, worked in Garfield, always root for the local guys. Yes, Clifton was right next to Garfield. I was at the draft yesterday at the stadium. The draft.
Yeah, how was that?
It was great. A lot of people talking about watching our show, and you always like to see the immediate results of what people think. I actually had left. I was with Lavernius, but everybody has their opinions on who we're going to pick and why, and one way or another, they can alienate some of the fan base.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, if you didn't hear the beginning, look, she's getting pizza. She's going outside, sir. If you didn't see from the beginning, we do like to pick. And there's still 5 rounds to go that we can find a playmaker. By the end of the day, you might be like, "Oh, I overreacted." They got somebody.
We got updating news. Freaking Jim Harbaugh is a football dude. He knows what he's doing. He first gets Joe Alt at 5, and now he takes Wayne Chrebet's favorite guy in the draft.
He took McConkey?
He took McConkey with the second pick in the second round.
So that's kind of going to start going down the list.
That's 2 receivers in the first 2 picks in the second. Not a great sign for the Jets. Hopefully that slows down pretty soon.
They go, it's just like lineman tackles. Once one goes, quarterbacks go.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, there's a slew of guys here. Some household names, some not. But yeah, they're like I said, man. I mean, they could. There's going to be guys, after the draft moves are made, going into camp, during camp. There's plenty of room to find a good vet. That can be left. We do need one of these young guys, playmakers that maybe just aren't as polished. Maybe they're the route running or something that's you get a guy like that around someone like a Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and those guys, and they're gonna improve drastically from their college game.
Here's the list of available receivers out there. Hunter Renfrow, professional guy, doesn't really fit because you got Xavier Gibson and Garrett Wilson, as the top slot guys. Allen Robinson, OBJ, please, dear God, no OBJ. Michael Gallup, Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd's still that guy. I mean, 29 years old. He could play. He's really flexible. He could play all three spots, slot, X, and Z. Michael Thomas, he's pretty much done. Valdez
Can I get
Scantling.
$5 million? I'll take $5 million to go back out there for a couple. Be a decoy.
$5 million, yeah. I mean,
we'll give McCole Hardman for the third time.
Oh God, McCole Hardman. That's right. He's still a free agent.
Yeah, but you look from midway down. These are just vets that are bouncing around.
Scotty Miller, same thing as Renfrow, really. Little shifty, quick guy.
Yeah, all these guys are, twilight of their career.
Will Douglas trade up? That's the question. If the receivers keep running like this, will he trade up? That's where we're really gonna have to keep an eye on.
Interesting name on there was Allen Robinson. That guy has been solid. I mean, his cap hit's $15 million, but he's big body, never had a quarterback.
True. And listen, he's had Pro Bowl seasons.
Yeah.
He's tall. He could play outside. He's only 30. Has he stayed healthy? I'm not sure.
With this, if you get this line, it's be like fortress there in front of Aaron Rodgers, and you give him time. Yeah, you'd like to have a Debo and these explosive guys, but you got guys that can get open and catch the ball. They're going to move down the field, man.
Yeah, and don't underrate Xavier Gibson and even Brownlee. Jason Brownlee was tremendous in the summer last year, and he got a cup of coffee this past season once they sat Lazard for a little bit. So, hey, you never know. I mean, I know he's a hard worker. Him and Gibson both. They were on Hard Knocks. They were pretty much best friends. So we'll see with those two.
Yeah, dude, listen, these guys are young last year. They're wide-eyed. They're playing in New York. Quarterbacks are going down. All these different things are happening. Their head's spinning. A whole off season in the, we're pro strength and conditioning trainer. More time with Aaron. He wasn't on the field. They're going to be that much better. And when you're in a situation where you're a 3 or a 4 or a 5, anything you do is positive. There's no pressure on them in the world.
Yeah. JD should have put an injury clause in the AR trade to prevent losing the second pick. I mean, that's I mean, revisionist history. It would have been great, but can we wait till third round to get a receiver? Well, receiver 3 to tag it like that. I wouldn't tag it like that. Receiver 3. Can you wait until the third round to get a receiver? Yeah, but who's going to be the one who drops? Yeah. That's the question.
Now, if there's a guy you're going to get in third, can you get in the fourth? I mean, now you got to start like finagling.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Someone wrote about receivers going fast because of the hip tackle ban. We talk about the hip tackle thing.
I don't think maybe we touched on it briefly, but it's absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah. Listen, who were we talking last night? Oh, listen, last night, me and Lavernius were in the green room signing autographs, and I think Quincy was in there and another player. So afterwards, we go downstairs into the tunnel. We got get walked out to our car in the parking lot. And we're walking. He has 2 titanium hips, 2 hip replacements.
Does he really? I didn't know that.
I could barely walk. And on one of those carts, the rows of seats, is like 4 current players. And we're walking behind them, and these 22-year-olds are on the carts. I'm like, these guys have no clue what's in store for them. It
Yeah.
was pretty funny. But yeah, we were there last night, and same thing. We were talking about that. You know, you can't hit a defenseless receiver. Every receiver is defenseless. You can't hit above the neck, below the knees. I mean, it's it's controlled violence. I know they're doing what they can do, but you gotta let them play a little bit.
And don't you think this is just the latest, and there'll be another thing in a few years that they have to ban? Because once you ban something, the players adapt, and then something else happens, and then you have to ban that. I think one of the major problems is how sticky the gloves are, and I think they encourage it not only for offense but for hand tackling too, because
Yeah.
it is such a benefit for defensive players to tackle with those gloves. Something else is going to have to be banned in 3 years.
Yeah. And they announced today they could wear those Guardian helmets during games now.
What were those? The big
The
ones
big
that they were in
padding.
practice?
Yeah, those for practice. You can wear them
Oh,
in the game. It's gonna
no.
look weird if somewhere it's some don't. I'm wondering how someone with one on and someone without hit.
The
I'm not sure
timing.
if those things move or does it make it worse for somebody who doesn't have it on? I'm not sure the research they've done on it.
Yeah, I don't know either, and my first thought would be the timing of it, because you don't think about it, but when you're colliding with someone, there's a certain timing you're used to, you know?
Sorry.
It's all good, and if the helmet is bigger, the timing will be thrown off. But
That inch, that fraction of an inch, yeah, for sure.
yeah. Get your final questions in. We got a couple more minutes before we call it a day. And by the way, once we end at 7:45, head over to Jake Asman. We're gonna hop on his show, his mega cast. This guy, he does a live show for 5 straight hours each night during the draft. He's insane. So we're gonna hop on for 10 or 15 minutes. Check us over there at 7:45. Robbie, our Rangers are looking good. Went down 1-0. I saw the celebration on the Kreider goal. Goudreau scored the shorthanded goal. Man, you know what I'm not happy with? Wayne's a Capitals fan now because he went to
No,
a Capitals game.
I got free tickets. I went. What are you gonna do? Who got picked?
Let's see. D tackle third to Atlanta.
Gotcha.
Rook or Hahoro from
Gotcha.
Clemson.
All right. Well, we'll
Don't
see
ask
what
me to
happens.
say that name again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe do a review on it. Beginning of next week and see where we're at. But
Yeah.
obviously, appreciate everybody tuning in on a Friday night. That's what they're doing. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and like I said, join us on it's the Jake Asman show, right?
Jake Asman. Yep. Yeah, we'll be on there for 10, 15 minutes starting at 7:45. So use the WC and catch us in a little bit. Use discount code 80 at Jets X Factor too. Fialco and Blewett, a lot of film stuff coming out on Olu and whoever the Jets draft tonight and tomorrow.
I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Absolutely. All right.
All
We'll
right.
catch you later.